HS2, this grand project. And look, you know, you go back in time, the Victorians, the Edwardians built amazing projects in this country that we can be very proud of. I have to say, as someone that's commuted back and forth to Manchester over the years many times, 2 hours, 6 minutes from Euston to the middle of Manchester Piccadilly doesn't strike me as being too bad. And yet for a cost that could now be £150 billion, what I'm picking up here from people is that HS2 is seriously damaging people's lives in this constituency. How bad is it?
The traffic is awful. I mean, we've got the temporary traffic lights just around the corner as a result of it as well. It's just huge amount of discontent that this has caused. And again, this is our taxpayer money. I keep going on about that, but it is our money that we're putting forward. If we don't pay it, we end up going to jail if we don't. And it's our money that we've worked hard for, and instead, actually, what that money is being used for is actually
would you
damaging.
Scrap it?
Would I scrap it? I'm afraid I would, Nigel. I would rather it be paid for by those private companies that seem to have so much money. Let them pay for it, not the taxpayer.
But the private companies won't pay for HS2 because they know it will never, ever make money, and that's why the taxpayer is bailing it out. Is anybody here in favour of HS2? Can we get a microphone to this gentleman here? I love people that stand up against the crowd.
Well done.
You remind me of me in the European Parliament.
Because I actually live in Birmingham, so I'm quite happy that it's going to raise my property price.
Right.
But the reality is, I came on a train today to London Marylebone. There's two train lines to Birmingham, and at 11 o'clock it was absolutely rammed. It was standing room only. A lot of the lines via the West Coast and via High Wycombe are used as regional lines. So there really is a need for a direct line, a fast line. And, it's not just going to take 19 minutes to Manchester. The quickest train between Birmingham and London is 1 hour, 24 minutes. It will be cut to 45 minutes. So I think there is a need for it. I do appreciate if you live in an area which has been damaged and you're not getting the benefit, you will be against it.
So is it for you about capacity or speed?
Well, both. But I think capacity is actually the key issue, but it's not actually been sold on that.
No, OK, I get that point. I take that point. And actually, folks, it's worth remembering, here we are in Uxbridge. The last census showed the population in this constituency had risen by 12% in the last 10 years. And that does mean, as the gentleman said, there are capacity problems with transport, the NHS, schooling. Our population is going through the roof. I get the gentleman's point. I suspect we need longer platforms and longer trains. I'm not sure 150 billion quid is money well spent.